you.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome in, Odie, Raven, Alex, Wolf. Welcome on in. We're here. We're live. Welcome to the very first podcast, Twitchcast, whatever you want to call it. Very first one today. Welcome to GTR. I am your host, Guldan7878. How are you guys doing today? Man, day's been crazy. So we started off today. Technical difficulties already, and we were 6 minutes into the just chatting and already looking for followers. But welcome on in, you guys. Hopefully your Saturday is doing awesome. I feel for you, Alex. I'm kind of that same way. I'm a mix of excited, nervous, the whole enchilada. But welcome on in, you guys. Thank you very much for being here. This has been something that I've been working on now for probably the last 4 or 5 years-ish. It's been kind of an idea tossed around by me and a couple buddies. So basically all it's going to be, it's just going to be a chance for us to hang out, chit-chat. We're just going to go through a couple events of the world today, in the past. And then we're going to move on to our very special guest interview today. It's going to be a way for you guys to get to know me a little bit more, for me to get to know you guys a bit more, and it's going to be a way for us to kind of see what else Twitch has to offer. I find so many times communities kind of are so interlinked together, and a lot of times people don't really move from those set communities. So this will be a way for us to get to know other communities, for other communities to get to know us. And yeah, it's just going to be around a half hour of us just hanging out, chit-chatting, getting to know each other, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, and nice set, thank you. So I started looking when I went to start designing this. I was kind of looking around at different things, and I'm like, wow, how do I do it? Because I've seen where people are standing up and they're talking, they're sitting down and talking. I'm like, how do I want to do this? So then I kind of started looking at set designs, and with everything being very copyright, you kind of got to really be careful about what you're using, how you're doing it. So the set that you see behind me is actually mine. I own all the rights to that set. I paid for it. I bought it. And then luckily the people at Mount Robson were very gracious enough to allow us to shoot the podcast right outside of their mountain. So yeah, that mountain behind me is Mount Robson. Wolf will know where this mountain is. He lives actually not too far from it. But yeah, we spent a lot of time when I was younger on holidays, and it was something that I wanted as the backdrop. And of course, in the top right corner, we have Gull Moose. Gull Moose is always hanging out with us. But yeah, it took me a while. We spent a lot of time, me and today's guest actually spent a lot of time working everything, getting everything together and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a work in progress, and I needed the new computer. The new computer was probably the biggest puzzle piece to all of this to throw it all together, but well, we got it all together. We worked through our technical difficulties this morning, I'm hoping. And then, yeah, 6 minutes into just chatting already, we got our first follower bot coming in. But so I was kind of looking through, I was reading kind of the paper, the headlines today. There's just a few things that I found interesting. This day in history, actually, in 1995, the former NFL running back and broadcaster and actor O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of the murder of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. I can remember watching this chase on TV. It was crazy. I think we had got home from school, and we were turning something on the TV, and I remember watching the white Bronco being chased down the freeway. It was just like, what is going on? But yeah, that was this day, October 3rd in history. OJ was found not guilty. Of course, later on they redid the trial, blah blah blah, and they ended up finding him guilty, but they couldn't really, all that kind of fun stuff. Also, this day, 1990, the reunification of East and West Germany. The West German flag was raised above the Brandenburg Gate on the stroke of midnight, which was I can remember when the wall came down. That was a big thing when I was in school. Yeah, that was huge. That was huge for Germany, getting rid of communism, unifying the country together. Also, this day, 1935, Italy invades Ethiopia, starting the Second Italo-Ethiopian War. Parallax, welcome in. How is it going? I was kind of looking through this to see if there was any famous deaths, but there wasn't today. 42 BC, Gallius Cassius passed away, died during a battle. Well, welcome on in, Parallax. Hopefully your Saturday's going good. Just doing the homework stuff. It's actually kind of interesting when you start looking through all this stuff, just to see all the different things that happen on this. I know on this day in history, I know a couple years ago, my mom had bought me, for my birthday, it was things of, I think it was not the day, but your birth year. So it's a book that you can buy. No worries, Wolf. No worries. I appreciate you coming and hanging out on our inaugural podcast event day. I do appreciate it. Yeah, don't feel like you guys got to stick around. If you got stuff to do, you got stuff to do. Life happens. I realize that. But in this book, it had everything that happened that year you were born. So it'll tell you like the price of gas. It'll tell you. Well, Alex, if you don't want to stick around, that's up to you. But it'll be a short inaugural podcast. You should at least stick around to see who the guest is, Alex. And then from there you can decide you can do what you want. But yeah, this book, it was really interesting. Like, it covered gas prices, what the top song on the billboards was that year. It covers, I think it's like famous deaths, births, all that kind of stuff. It's actually really interesting. I think there's a book on definitions too, because I was reading like where, for instance, the word shot came from. So way back, this would have been in the 1800s. The price of a bullet was 12 cents. When you went to the bar in order to get a drink of whiskey, a drink of whiskey was also 12 cents. So back then, a lot of cowboys, farmers, all that kind of stuff didn't have extra money with them or enough money to go in and buy a drink. So then, because the price of a bullet and because the price of a whiskey drink was 12 cents, they would trade a bullet for a whiskey drink, and thus for that just carried on, and it became known as a shot. So the next time you guys go to the bar and you order a shot, think back 100 and some years that there was actually a cowboy or a bandit trading in one of his bullets for that same old drink of whiskey. I was also reading McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli. I don't know why they thought that this would ever become a good idea, but they came up with the idea. They made bubblegum flavored broccoli. Unsurprisingly, the attempt to get kids to eat healthier didn't go over well when the child testers were very confused by the taste. So can you imagine trying go to eat a broccoli and it tastes like bubblegum? They also came with, where is it here now? Some fungi create zombies and then they control their mind. So the tropical fungus, I'm going to butcher this name. So to any people that have thought, hey, the zombie apocalypse could possibly happen, it could. It could possibly happen. So the tropical fungus, Ophicordyceps, I'm going to butcher that name. Jimmy, did I miss the news? No, we haven't got to the news highlights yet. Stars, welcome on in. How are you guys doing? Welcome in. Hopefully your Saturday's going good. But yeah, anyways, this tropical fungus, it infects the ant's central nervous system. By the time the fungi been in the insect's body for 9 days, so it takes 9 days, the fungi have complete control over the host movement. So this fungus takes control of basically the ant's body. They force the ants to climb up trees, then convulse and fall into the cool, moist soil below where the fungi thrive. Once there, the fungus waits until exactly solar noon to force the ant to bite a leaf and kill it. So it's crazy when you think about it. Like, people that write off the zombie apocalypse as couldn't possibly happen, this fungus actually has the power, and it's confirmed it has the power to actually take over and control these ants to the point where they basically kill themselves and opt themselves up to be eaten by the fungus. But that's crazy when you think about it. Like, if they can somehow grab that fungus and use it as some kind of war agent, who knows what they can do. Also, I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but the first oranges weren't actually orange. The original oranges from Southwest Asia were a tangerine pomelo hybrid, and they were actually green. In fact, oranges in warmer regions like Vietnam and Thailand still stay green through maturity. So I'm wondering so technically, instead of us calling them oranges, we should call them greens. And then if people don't want to eat their greens, they can just move along and have them taste as bubblegum, and then they can eat their bubblegum. Alright, this one's going to be a question for all of our US people in chat. So there is only one letter that doesn't appear in any of the US state names. Can anybody guess what that one letter is? Let's see if anybody can guess it. So the question again, there is only one letter that doesn't appear in the U.S. state name. Odie's going with Q. Anybody else care to guess? Anybody? Just Odie. So Odie's going with Q. And Odie, you are correct. So you will find a Z in Arizona. You will find a J, obviously, in New Jersey. There's even 2 X's, New Mexico and Texas. But not a single Q. Not one state in all of the 51 states will you find a letter Q. I actually thought that was pretty interesting. It took me a while to try to figure it out. I seen the question. I was like, there's got to be something. So I kind of just went through every letter of the alphabet. Yeah, it took me a while, but I finally got to Q, and there wasn't one. Alrighty, we've got... So I was reading the paper this morning when I was having some breakfast. I came upon this one. A woman is arrested for using 6 children to steal campaign signs. So, yeah, she was sending her 6 kids to go around in the neighborhood to steal campaign signs. It's like, I don't know why you would want to get your kids involved to do that. What's this one? We've got... So a herd of charging cows in England kill a second man in a month. So apparently, if any of you are planning on going to England, or if you're from England, you're gonna want to be careful. So a 72-year-old man in England died after being charged by a herd of cows, authorities said Friday, marking the country's second such fatality in 2 weeks. The tragic death happened around 11:45 a.m. when he was walking near Thirlwall Castle and Gisland, Northumberland. Flynn was with a companion when the cows charged across the field. Over a week before Flynn's death, teacher Dave Clark died after cows injured him while he was walking in the same area. So, see, I'm not sure what goes on with the cows in England, but I know the cows over here are pretty docile. They're pretty laid back. Really don't got to worry too much about being run over by a herd of cattle here. I guess Canadian cattle are a little bit more tame. I've seen this one too. English cows have the fighting spirit. Yeah, could you imagine, like, if they're like that in a field, can you imagine what they're going to be like when you get them to come in, like, into the slaughterhouse and stuff? So there's a woman in Florida. Florida woman gets lottery prize initially denied due to mail mix-up. Could you imagine? You win the lottery and then they're just like, no. So a Florida woman who was initially denied a $1,000 lottery prize when her ticket was believed to be lost in the mail was finally awarded her winnings by lottery officials. So the lady had won a second chance drawing with what was initially a losing ticket. And then due to all the restrictions, she was instructed to mail her ticket to Florida Lottery headquarters. The lady had sent the ticket via certified mail so she could track its trip to Tallahassee, but the tracking system said the ticket was in transit and remained that way for weeks. So she ends up mailing her ticket, and they ended up losing it. Then goes on in interviews, she said she was horrible. She was horrified when she heard that. After I had to pick myself up the floor, I learned the ticket was still in transit. Lottery officials told her that the prize was being forfeited and given to a second place winner because the ticket did not arrive at the office with a postmark proving it was mailed within 7 days. A lottery official told the TV station they did not know why the ticket's postal tracking information was incorrect, or why it took so long to find the ticket. But anyways, they ended up finding the ticket for her, and they ended up sending her $1,000. But that's kind of, me and Odie are in that kind of same mess right now. We've got a package that's being sent that shows it's cleared customs 2 weeks ago. So apparently they're walking the picture from, or the parcel from the border to my place. And there was one other one I wanted to share with you guys, but I can't find it. Oh, right here. So for people, I've heard of this happen quite a few times. But an overdue book was returned to a British library 48 years later. So the Discovery Centre in England said the books were mailed to the library along with apologetic note from a person who checked them out nearly 50 years ago. So, can you imagine, like, it's at what point do you just write that book off? It's like, well, that book's not coming back, so we're just gonna write that book off. But no, they found a book, and they ended up sending it back to them. But I've heard of this actually happening a couple times, where people will check out books and stuff from the library, and then once they take the book out from the library, like 10, 15, 20 years later, all of a sudden the book shows up. But I can remember, like, when Blockbuster was still a big thing, there was people where it tanked their credit rating, because what would happen is they would rent a movie, forget about it, not return it, and Blockbuster would actually report to the credit bureau when you had late charges and stuff like that. So there was actually people that, they would go to get a car, they would go to get a credit card or something, they would be denied because of bad credit. So then once they would go to actually investigate their credit rating, they would find out that they had a late payment charges from Blockbuster like 15 years ago. So you guys might want to check. So if any of you got a bad credit rating, you're going to want to look back and check to make sure you didn't forget to return a movie to Blockbuster. But anyways, you guys, enough about me. So today's special guest, many of you already know him. He's a very active member of my community. He's a very active member of communities abroad. He's one of the ones that spent many aggravating nights, days, trying to get all of this set up. The creator of My Lovely Emotes. And I see he's not really... I'm just going to check to see if he's there. Are you there, sir? But ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I present to you our special guest of today, Alex, the Frying Dutchman. No, you're not there. That's a fail. Oh, the screen moved. That's why. There we go. Yay, we're back. How's it going today, Alex?
I'm good. Nice scene transition. Hello, chat. I am apparently Zila, the warrior prince.
So when we went to create it, I wanted to set up both screens. So in order to do it so it makes it look like Alex is looking at me, I have to flip it. So are you gonna put on the wig for us, Alex? so when I copied
let's see how it goes first.
When I copied
Maybe
the image,
if you need to spicing it up a little, that may happen.
Just kind of play it by ear, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I went to create this, like I had to mirror the image so it makes it look like Alex is kind of focused at me. So in doing so with the words, we got Zila, the warrior princess, in the left-hand screen, and we've got regular Alex coming to us on the right-hand screen. Turn Alex up a bit. See, I've already turned Alex on. Is that any better?
That requires me to talk probably, so let's do that for a bit.
There, that should work. You're coming in real loud. To me now, anyways. If not, I can crank you up a bit.
Apparently that's good.
Yeah, I just really turned you up.
I could also talk really into the mic.
Well, then you're really, really, really loud. But
Sorry,
Alex, thank you
Hi.
so very much for coming on, for doing this with me. Like I was telling you a little bit before the podcast started, how much I appreciate all the hard work that's gone into creating this, to getting it up and running.
Trying to make me blush again, hmm?
Well, I'm going to make you blush. See, if you lean over a little bit to the side, your red and pink will blend into the pink of your Alex backdrop. But just in case, Alex, for those of you that happen to be in here that do not know who you are, tell us a little
Yeah.
about yourself. Tell us who you are, what brought you to Twitch.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I have a streaming problem. What brought me to Twitch? Like 5 years ago, there was a game called Super Mario Maker. Came out in September, I believe, and I liked it, and I wanted to share it with other people, and I saw the way to do that online. And then I noticed that people were streaming it, and yeah, I did that. I did it on YouTube for a while, without a mic, without a webcam. And then I noticed that somebody else who I followed also streamed to Twitch. So then I went to Twitch and never went back.
Do you still do stuff on YouTube at all, or are you pretty much just primarily Twitch now?
I'd like to do stuff on YouTube, but I don't have like I'm gonna say I don't have the skills to video edit, but I definitely do not have the software to do it. So maybe I will.
See, that's one thing I've kind of looked into too, is like the whole Twitch aspect of stuff. But yeah, well, you know me, you know my knowledge with anything that has to do with computers. Like, if when I go to turn it on, if it doesn't turn on, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So
No comment.
well, you'd know best out of anybody. So one thing I've got to ask, people have asked me before in the past, where did Alex the Frying Dutchman come from? Not as far as your mom or where you live, but the name. How did you come up with Alex the Frying Dutchman?
So I'm gonna take one step back, not towards my mother, but I started on YouTube and on Twitch as RS Inc. RS being my initials because Alex is my middle name, not my actual name. That name had the problem that people would call me Ars Sync, basically calling me an ass all the time. I might be an ass, but it happens a little bit too much. And I joined the stream team, and then things went bad, and I got an injury to my wrist, so I couldn't play games for a while, and they were arresting me, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with the shit. I'm gonna start over. So I chose Alex because, yeah, it's a nice short name. You cannot mispronounce it because it's the same in every language. Not every name has that. It starts with an A.
I think I mispronounced it a few times when you and me first met. For the longest time, I thought it was Flying Dutchman. It took me a while.
Yeah, okay.
It took me a while to realize it was frying.
That part gets misread a lot. So, but of course, it's the Flying Dutchman. It's obviously it's a reference to that as well. But the frying part was chosen because back then I did do cooking streams. I don't do those anymore. I might do them again when I get like a proper kitchen, because this tiny apartment and you
Or
got no
or
place for
what
it.
you could do too, I seen on Steam you can buy Cooking Simulator. So
Nah,
it would be like doing a cooking stream.
nah.
So when I first met you, Alex, we're going back. Holy man, we're going
Yeah.
back probably over a year now.
Yeah, I
You
changed
were
to yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say you played a lot of Minecraft. Are you still primarily Minecraft, or have you ventured off into other games and stuff?
So the last couple of months, I've basically, is that a month ago? Yeah, I had vacation somewhere recently, sort of. Then I got sick, and I haven't like decently played a game since, apart from the stream I did, I think a week ago. Um, but yeah, I changed to Alex the Flying Dutchman about 2 years ago. I think it was early 2018. I think. Then I got
I think your alarm's
my,
going off.
my phone is going off.
Oh, it's just me. I pocket dialed you. I'm sorry.
No, it's my dad. I don't know what he wants, but I just texted him that I'll call him. But yeah, might be urgent. I'll never know because I'm calling him after this. Um, where was I? Yeah, early 2018. We met in Tap Twice's stream, which I think she started in early 2018 as well. And then I watched some other like Minecraft streams, but I've mostly ventured on. I don't believe there's anybody who I'm watching that still plays Minecraft only.
I know
I
a lot
think,
of I noticed a lot of people have kind of moved to more variety. Like I know a
yeah,
lot of the
exactly.
people that I started watching that played Minecraft initially have kind of moved on. I know Odie sticks pretty much primarily with Minecraft. He'll switch off a couple times, but yeah, I've even been finding a lot of people have been taking a break lately from Minecraft.
Yeah, so before the last update, I saw a move towards hardcore. Seems like 1.16 like revitalized it a little bit, but mostly people at least got like one side game, and most of them moved on to like many different.
I did notice, what was it, yesterday? I noticed that
Yeah.
today they're voting, they're bringing in some new something to Minecraft. It has something to do with a boss or I can't. I'm not really 100% sure as to what it was, but I seen it yesterday that there's some big vote going on today about the new mobs and biomes. Raven says coming into Twitch. So for anybody
Yeah.
that's interested in Minecraft, make sure you go in and vote for what you want to see coming into the game. So besides gameplay, Alex, I've noticed a couple times in your stream, you've
Yeah.
been working on emotes, you've been working on banners and stuff like that. What what got you to the point where you were able to work and produce emotes? For those of you guys that aren't familiar with Alex's emotes, 4 out of the 5 emotes that I use in my channel are products of Alex. Also, the set that you are looking at is a product of Alex. And I haven't shown it yet, but I will for everybody that hasn't seen it yet. This breaking news, this just in. Alex has the skills to make emotes and to do some kind of designs on Twitch. I love that actually, the breaking news on and off. But so what brought you to wanting to make emotes or to have the skills and the abilities to make emotes? Because when I've watched you do it on stream, going through all that coding and stuff is something that I'm not even going to pretend to understand. And to be able to make them, walk us through that process a little bit, please, Alex.
Okay, so making emotes and doing the thing like the breaking news, those are like two whole separate things. Um, yeah, I can draw for shit, so I make emotes in Microsoft Excel, people. Microsoft Excel. Um, I color all the cells, and then hopefully something good comes out of it. And the Canadian Heart and the Ghoul Moose are examples of that. They turned out pretty well. And
I love
then,
the Gull Moose. The Gull
yeah,
Moose
me
is
too.
probably one of the most sought after. I know, like when I'm in channels and stuff. When I was kind of doing, well, even still now, like when I do my marble tours,
Yeah,
if I use the Gull Moose in a channel to when I'm launching the marble, people are like, "Where'd you get that emote from?" And I've actually had people sub to the channel just for that emote. So you
oh,
did
cool.
well.
Very nice. Yeah, that was just like, I wonder if this works, and then it worked. Like, I tried different animals, they didn't work. No, this turned out pretty well. If you guys know about it, it's more or less like the idea in my head was more or less based off of Happy Tree Friends. There's a moose with one of his antlers upside down, and that kind of triggered me to see how you could draw um like an ankler or whatever it's called. I don't know the word.
An antler. See, I know a lot of people have asked because it once, like when you look at it, there's a comic strip here that came out. It would have been, oh, this would have been years and years ago, but it looks like almost like Maurice the Moose. So a lot of people have asked, they're like, "Is that Maurice the Moose?" And I'm like, no, it wasn't based or designed on that. It could have
I
ended up being a happy coincidence, but
never heard of that. I don't think you mentioned it to me before that.
I'll have to send you the comic. Like if it doesn't look similar, but it like when you just glance at the emote, it's like, oh, that. Some people think it looks like Maurice the Moose, but I don't. I don't.
Yeah,
I think they're
so
wrong.
it's 28, I believe, 28 by 28 pixels. How much variation can you have? Um, it's gonna be similar. But yeah, I never heard of it. The goo, that was just a fluke. I was messing around in GIMP, and I made a splash and I colored it, and I was like, hey, why not name it goo?
Because I know when you did the goo emote, like the goo emote I have is my tier 3 emote, but then I also have the goo emote for channel points, and
Yeah,
I seen like when you created that, and then I seen the struggle, like when you made the GTR for the splash on the desk. And
dude, that
I
fucking
was just
GTR
like,
emote. People, that GTR emote like under Guldan right now, that took me like all in all together, I think like 8 hours.
yeah, because you worked on that for a whole stream.
Yeah,
Plus then there was a lot of off stream stuff yet that you had to work with it too. So
yeah, I think I did it like for like 2 hours on stream, and then I gave up, and then I tried to get back into it, and then I gave up again, and then finally I like remembered something, I don't know, and then it worked. And now it's just GTR with Splash.
I think you did good. I think it looks pretty good.
Thank you. You mentioned four emotes. What is the other one?
I also have the GG emote.
Oh yeah,
That's
GG.
tier 2 emote for me.
Yeah, that's more like your baby. It was based off my GG emote. And you
See, I
wanted
like
me to
using
color it red and white.
yeah, like I like using that one for marbles. Like when I do, like now I have it linked to an actual sound file. So when I do the emote in chat, it'll actually link to the GG. But that's kind of more for the marbles and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So I learned a lot since I made that one, because I really thought back then that it has to be 28 by 28 pixels. Um, but apparently you can do more pixels and it scales it or whatever. So we could try to get the leaf in there. I really think it lacks the Canadian leaf in the middle.
I think the Canadian Leaf's pretty well represented there. These are I don't know if anybody's noticed, but
In your
these are
GG?
oh not in the GG. I thought you were talking about the Canada Heart.
No. I'm talking about the GG. It's just red and white, and that one really needs like the leaf in the middle. At least my opinion. But yeah, I made heart emotes for a lot of people because I like gained the skill, if you want to call it that, when I
And you also have a big
made.
heart.
Yeah, sure. I gained that skill when I tried to make my own emote, and then other people were like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna pay like $50 or more for an emote that I'm gonna use like twice." So I did it for a lot of people. I think I made like 6 different versions of it.
Oh wow. So when you're not streaming, Alex, I know you are going to be getting back into the streaming more. When you're not streaming, what are some things that Alex likes to do?
When I'm not streaming, what I like to do. Um,
Like, what are things that interest you? What
yeah,
are
yeah,
some of
I,
your
I
hobbies?
I understand the question, but the reason I'm not streaming most of the time is not because I do other things that I like. It's just like life gets in the way. My hobbies are table tennis, darts, and I like to mess around with computers, and that's both hardware and like with software settings.
I've never really been good at table tennis. I'm not bad at darts, but yeah, to pick up a paddle and try to whack a small little white ball, it never really works out too well. I can play pool though. If you ever want to get tangled up in an ugly pool match, you let me know.
Yeah, I stopped playing pool because everybody wanted to bet, and I do not want to bet. I like the idea of pool. I liked when I played pool, but I do not like the gambling part.
I know that's one of the
Um,
reasons I love playing poker, and that was one of the reasons I kind of had to get away from it because, well, as people know me in the past, like even with sports and stuff, I love to bet, I love to gamble, and poker was just one of those things where I was like, I'm gonna maybe have to stay away from this.
yeah. So I get really easily addicted to stuff. That is something I have found out in my life. So I try to steer away from that. I don't drink either because of that reason. Because um, when you get past the threshold and you get the addiction, it's really hard to get rid of it. So why go that way? I don't need to drink. I don't need to gamble. I don't need to. So I
Yeah, and
don't.
that's like how I am too. Like I have a very addictive personality, and that was one of,
Mhm.
like, when I was growing up, when I was younger, that was one of the things that I struggled with quite a bit. And since I made the decision that I don't want to do it anymore, it's way easier to just keep the tiger in the cage and forget that the tiger's there than having to worry about what you're gonna do when the tiger gets out of the cage.
Yeah, I have been very lucky. About 18 years ago, I got addicted to a game called Ultima Online. It's like one of the first
Oh, I remember Ultima.
MMORPGs. Yeah. So I played that for like 8 hours a day. And remember, people in the back in that day, you had to dial up into into a server. So I was on the phone line like for 8 hours a day easily. In the weekends,
See, and that's how
longer.
that's how I was with World of Warcraft. Like when I first got into World of Warcraft, ultimately it was like a job for me. So like I would get up in the morning, I would come to the computer, I would sit down, and I would play until I pretty much fell asleep at the keyboard. And it just got to the point where I was like, yeah, I have to walk away from it. And I was, well, that would be 14 years ago now, and that was a lot of the
Mhm.
main reason why I got rid of the computer, just because of that, like that addictive uh, trait coming out in me. So yeah, I have to walk away from World of Warcraft. I walked away from the computer, and then now that I'm older, with work, my work schedule keeps me fairly busy, and then being active in other communities and streaming and stuff is kind of a nice, well balanced. and then that's too how I can find I can play a game without getting too addicted to it, because a lot of times once I'm done streaming, I'll just shut everything off and walk away. So it's kind of like my alarm that it's time to shut this off for a while.
Yeah, but so for me, after a day of work, I don't have the energy to be like happy on stream. And I could stream, but I'd not enjoy it, and then the audience wouldn't enjoy it, and then I've decided that I don't want to do that. So when I have the energy, when I have the drive, I will stream. Um, but yeah, that turns out that it's like one in every 2 weeks. Once in every 2 weeks, I mean.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like that's kind of how I am. Like I'm trying to now get more into a consistent schedule. For the longest time, I never had a schedule. I was the same way, where it was I'd see how I felt that day. When I woke up, if I felt like I wanted to stream, I'd stream. I know now with me, like it's to the point where every Sunday I'll actually sit down. I'll work through a schedule and post that on my Twitch page and stuff. But no, I completely understand it. It's when
Yeah.
you do this, and a lot of people, they don't understand it either. Like it takes a lot out of a person to stream. You know, a lot of people are just like, oh, you're just sitting there and you're playing a game. Well, you are, but you're concentrating on so much else while you're doing that. Like you're carrying on multiple conversations with different people in chat. You're also trying to play a game. You know, you're basically putting on a performance for however long that you're streaming. You know, and it takes quite a bit out of you in chat.
Yeah.
Chat feeds off of how you are. So like if you're tired and you're cranky and you're upset all the time, that's exactly how chat's gonna feel. They're just gonna be like, well, and they're not gonna have a lot of fun. So you wanna always be your best, so that when you're streaming for your community, you can bring them to the best, happiest place that they can be for 5, 6, 7 hours,
True. Yeah.
or two.
Yeah, exactly. Parallax, it uses up all your mental goo. I'd like to point out one thing. Is I've been doing this for about 5 years now. Um, I am at like what 320 followers, I believe. I don't know. Um, I do remember that I achieved the 250 followers goal well over 2 years ago now. Back then, I did stream like on schedule, whether I was happy or not, or whether um, I had something else going on. I pushed myself to stream for like 2 or 3 hours every weekday, and then once in the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. You gain followers that way, sure, but from all those 250 or more people, there's like two that stuck around. And now that I've taken things a little bit more easy, like calmed down a bit, or like streamed less, I got very few. I would say that very fewer. No,
Less.
less followers than before, but the quality of people that stuck around much improved.
Yeah,
And yes, Chad, I'm talking to you.
and see, and that's what I noticed too. Like when I've been around Twitch for 4 years now. I think my account was created 4 years ago. But like when I first got into streaming, like I streamed off the PS4, and I had no mic, no nothing. Like it was just, here's me playing the game. When I got back into it, I was very active, and I still am in the Minecraft community. So I did Minecraft all the time. I found I got burnt out on Minecraft all the time. So when I switched from Minecraft to Variety, that was probably one of the most difficult things that I had to do, because you still have your core group of supporters. Those are the people where no matter what you're streaming, when you're streaming, how long you stream, they're going to be there. And like you just did, I'm referring to all the people that are in my chat right now. Like those are the people where it doesn't matter whether I'm derping through a podcast or I'm playing Gold Rush, I'm playing Minecraft. Those are the people that are always there. And for me it was hard. Like when I switched from Minecraft to Variety, I lost a lot of followers. A lot. Like it would be to the
Yeah.
point where like I would be at 200. I'd go to work and come home and I'd be doing something on the page and I'd have 180. So like I was rewinding so fast, and at that point I had actually thought about maybe giving up. I'm like, maybe this isn't for me, but I stuck with it. I've kept going, and I've noticed that by doing those other games, it's given me an opportunity to show my face in other communities, and it's been just trying to think of the word now. It's been a breath of fresh air seeing other people from the other communities start to filter in through mine to interact with chat and stuff like that. Like I know with Gold Rush lately, like we brought in some viewers from Gold Rush. Noisy's actually one of them, and Gold Rush was what brought him in. He came for Gold Rush, but he ended up staying for the community, for all of you awesome guys. So yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Yeah, every time you have like a main game and you switch, people will unfollow because they expect that game. Um, Follows are much lower, but viewer retention or follow retention or whatever is good now.
Oh, and speaking
I think
speaking of
I have
Minecraft, Taylor,
like
thank you for
easily over
your
500, probably
contribution.
over 600 follows, but they all or half of them unfollowed again. But yeah, I'm here for the people that want to see me, and if that drops to 0, then I'm gone. That's it.
Well, it won't drop to 0. It could possibly go as low as 1, but
Nah,
I'm still gonna wanna see you from time to time. So
I know, but time zones are a thing as well. You have to keep in
yeah,
mind
that's
that
true.
life is just also a factor.
And that's what I find too. Like even in my channels, like I bring in a lot of people from the Europe time zone. So
Hmm.
there is that, always trying to set stuff up so you can kind of get the both best of both worlds. Because I know with me, like I usually start 1 p.m. Eastern time. So like in the morning, like in the first part of the stream, I find a lot of times like I'll have the European followers in, and
Yeah,
then halfway through, you lose those, but then you pick up your North American because those are when people are getting off work and stuff like that. So that's what I find, trying to balance a time that works well kind of for both. Because I know like even with you, most of the time I'll come in halfway through the stream because like you'll start streaming at 5:30 my time in the morning.
yeah. That's or after dinner here.
All right, so I want to give chat the opportunity to see if they have any questions that they would like to ask Alex. So chat,
Please be gentle,
is
chat.
there
Please
any
be gentle.
questions or anything that you would like to know about Alex?
And yes, I'm still single.
Yeah. And we'll wait. I'm hoping we get a couple doozies. My puppy tail is probably like, I got lots of questions I'd like to ask. This is your chance, guys. If you got any questions for Alex.
What's my favorite way to troll Guldan? Oh, do you want to read the questions, by the way, Mr. Interviewer? Hello?
Oh, I hit the wrong button. All right, there we go. So my puppy Taylor would like to know, what is your favorite way to troll me?
I would like to know what you were saying before because I saw on stream that your lips were moving.
Yeah, I
but I
hit
couldn't hear you.
I hit the wrong button. So what I was saying is, how
Okay.
about you just sit there? I'll ask you the questions, seeing as how
Yeah.
I'm the one doing the
Yeah. Sorry
podcast.
about that.
No, that's fine.
Habits.
That's fine. So yeah, so Puppy Taylor would like to know, what's your favorite way to troll me?
Any way possible. Like that's not the answer she's looking for. So I'd like to make fun of ice hockey because proper hockey is played on a field.
No, proper hockey is not played on
Um,
a field
I'd like to refer to Canada as Canada.
or Canuckians.
No, that's not what I do. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, it's a fine line between like friendly fun and
Toronto.
poking and
No, not
being a
Toronto.
general asshole. So I try to walk that line a little, but
I know,
um,
and it's hard because that line sometimes is very, very, very fine. That even when you're stepping on the thin line, you're still not stepping on the line. You know what I mean?
yeah. And sometimes you place your foot very careful, and then when you look down at your foot, the line has moved, and then you're like, shit, damn it.
And then you go to take another step and you completely trip over your feet, and then yeah, that's a whole other mess in itself.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you're like, maybe I'll leave it for like a day.
all right, we got a question from Parallax. Parallax would like to know if I muted my mic.
I think the answer to that, Parallax, is 42.
And there it is, the 42 answer. I think Parallax was more asking me, but I seen the question in there, so I figured I'd ask you. All right, we've got
Good call, Mr. Interviewer guy.
very good call. See, I'm on it, and and I was trying to decide too. I'm like, when I'm doing the podcast part,
Yeah.
I'm like, do I just do it like I'm doing a podcast without chat? But then I'm like, no, I can't, because the whole reason for doing this is the involvement of everybody. So I'm like, I still got to include chat and everything as I normally would if I was running a normal stream. Oh, we got a question from Raven. Raven would like to know what your favorite pun is.
Ooh, that's like picking one of your favorite children. Luckily, I don't have any children, so. Um, I don't know. Like, not all puns are created equal. That's a given, but they're all good, probably. I don't know. One that springs to mind is, as a finishing touch, God created the Dutch. I guess we'll go with that.
Wow. I like it though. That's pretty good.
Uh huh. And true.
All right. Does anybody else got any last questions for Alex? Oh, Parallax would like to know
Yeah.
what what games are you going to be streaming in the future?
The answer to that is yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Parallax, as well as all of us, look very much forward to that.
Thank you. No, I'd like to play as many games as I can. They will be mostly RPG or strategy or like base builder games. I'm not into shooters, so it's not gonna be Fortnite. It's not gonna be Apex. What else is there? I'd like to stream some Among Us. That's a tricky one because you need to get many people in so you can have a full room without randoms. I definitely will not play Fall Guys.
We got some breaking news. Retro, thank you so very much for the host. I do appreciate it. Thank you very, very, very much.
Hello, Retro.
I finally got to use it. We finally had some breaking news. I did notice that Raven hosted. We were still in the start screen, but I've been waiting for somebody to do something during
okay.
this so I could use it. All right. Is anybody else got any last questions? But yeah, we'll have to, getting back to your Among Us, like I was saying yesterday, we'll have to put something in both of our Discords and figure out a night when it would work kind of to get a whole group of people together. Because I know, like Raven just said, her and Odie would be in, I'd be in, you're in. I know a little birdie has told me that my puppy Taylor also plays Among Us. So that would be 5 people right there, and then it would just be to figure out the other 5. But instead of doing it as an actual stream, we could do it kind of like as a Discord stream kind of thing, or we could just have a night where we all get together and play it off stream, I guess, too.
Yeah, Among Us might not be the one to stream, so I don't know. I'd like to play it, but not necessarily
See,
stream
like
it.
you can just do it, and that's where, like, if you have a trusted group of people, then you know that people aren't stream sniping and all that kind of stuff. Because yeah, I've seen it before where people are playing with randos and they're stream sniping, and it just turns into like a big Fortnite argument all the time.
Yeah.
But if nobody has any further questions, I know you're probably anxious to get off to see why your dad was calling. So I
Yep.
would like to take this opportunity, Alex, to thank
Probably
you.
tech support, by the way.
Probably tech support. The same tech support you were
Yeah.
struggling to give me 5 minutes before we went live. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you, not only for your support to me when like I said, when I first entered the Twitch community and decided that streaming was my deal, for some weird unknown reason, you and me clicked off the start pretty quick. So I just want to thank you for all the support that you've shown me, for all the support that you've shown the community, for all the hard work that you've done, working on the screens and helping me with all my OBS stuff like that. And if you guys in here do not know, if you are not following Alex and his community, there's the link. Go give him a checkout, and yeah, you will not be disappointed when he does decide to stream once every couple of weeks. But he's working on it. But Alex, thank you so very much. This podcast has gone a lot longer than I thought it would. I figured we'd be doing a half an hour show. We're an hour show long now. So no, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for coming on, giving us the opportunity to get to know you better, to pick your brain a little better. And yeah, I will see you around the Twitch community.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, you guys. So we have done a thing. We've done a thing. We did our very first Twitch podcast. It couldn't have turned out better, you guys. Man, last night I slept really good. Today it was a mix of emotions. I was nervous. I was excited. I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. I was terrified to come on and do the show because it's something that I've worked through for the last 4 or 5 years. So be able to actually do it has been absolutely amazing. The love and support that you guys have shown me, not only since I've started streaming, but continue to show me, has been absolutely unbelievable. So I just wanted to thank you. Just in case you're wondering, in Discord, I will do under the GTR section. I will keep you guys updated as to when we're doing another podcast. The next podcast right now is set for October 8th. I also have a guest lined up for the October 20th podcast. There are a couple people I'm still waiting to get confirmed dates back from in that regards. But if there's anybody on there that you guys would like to see interviewed, or if you think that they're a person where them and me could get through an interview, feel free to drop your suggestions in there. I'm not saying every name that goes in there will be interviewed, but I'll be trying to do 3 or 4 shows anyways, just to kind of get a feel to see if this is something that is basically how Twitch takes this, and if it's something that becomes popular, that catches on, then we'll keep doing it down the road. But I just kind of wanted to do 3 or 4 episodes at first, just to see what the overall consensus is of everybody, if it's something that they would like to see keep going in the future. If it's something that maybe is not a good idea, then we'll run a couple shows and then we'll kind of maybe rework it from there. But a special thank you goes out to all of you guys for, like I said, for your continued love and your continued support. Has been absolutely amazing. But I will give Alex one last shout out. So yeah, like I said, if you guys don't know who Alex is, if you have not seen an Alex stream or been in Alex's community, there's the link. Please feel free to go and check him out. But you guys, this has been an absolute blast. I've had so much fun. I apologize, it was slated to go as a half an hour, but I'm kind of starting to see that once my mouth opens up and I start talking, it's going to be very hard to to keep it at an hour. So I do apologize for that. So maybe for next time we'll just plan that it's going to be an hour long podcast instead of a half an hour. But you guys have been awesome and amazing. I'm going to put you guys onto the end screen. So like I said, I wanted to take this time again. Let's go into... Oh, there we go. I hit a whole lot of buttons and screwed up a whole lot of things. I'm missing something here. Alright, here we go. So we're going to leave you guys on the ending screen. I cleared chat. I screwed everything up. Alright, so we'll go back. We'll give Alex a shout out. This is my first time. First time on Twitch. Oh well, I'm glad the kinks came at the end and the kinks didn't come during the middle. But like I said, we did have technical difficulties in the beginning that we were able to luckily work through. But like I said, you guys, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. Your love and support means the absolute world to me. Making GTR not only a thought, but something actually real. So thank you guys for hanging out, for coming out, for your participation today. I greatly do appreciate it. And yeah, we will... So the next podcast will go October 8th. Like I said, for people that do forget that, I will have it updated in the GTR channel in podcast. So from the bottom of my heart, you guys, thank you very, very, very much. And I will see you guys later. Yeah, let's get some music going for you guys. I guess I could have done that probably right at the beginning. Alright, you guys. Thank you so very much. You guys have an awesome and amazing day. And I will see you later.
You have been watching GTR, a Guldan 7878 production. No animals were harmed in the making of this show. All guests on today's show drank the green goo willingly. All reproductions of this show are strictly prohibited. For more information on the show, check out my Discord page. Thank you all for watching, and good night.